What is going on, guys? Today we're going to be working on the 240 and we're going to be doing something that I honestly don't even want to do this, but it's something that kind of needs to be done, so we're just going to take care of it while we can. So the plan is to take the dash out, which is a pain in the ass, and then clean up all the wiring underneath it, and also figure out a better solution on mounting the ECU, because right now the ECU is behind this switch panel, which is like a good spot, but I want a more secure spot and a spot that we can guarantee we don't get any dirt in. I didn't get the ECU till after I put the dash in, and I didn't want to take the dash out. Kind of screwed myself on that one, and the car's down right now. We can't go anywhere, we're under quarantine, so we're going to take advantage of that, take the dash out, and then see my terrible wiring. I've added stuff since making the wire harness video, so it doesn't look all nice anymore. So that is the beautiful mess that we're going to be fixing today. Really not looking forward to that because it's just, there's so much that needs to be done, but it needs to be done. So we're gonna do it today. So the dash is ready to come out. This is not gonna be fun, but here we go. Well, the dash is out. That actually didn't take as long as I thought it was going to. I forgot that I cut more of the dash out the last time that I took it out because it was just such a pain in the ass. So yeah, that's the big mess. That's what we're cleaning up today. This is the dash. It is all kinds of fucked up. We got this here. This I cut out for the hydro, and the dash was already cracked, so I didn't really ruin a dash. And we don't have a glove box. Got rid of that a while ago. This is like one of my favorite parts of the car is this AEM CD5. I took the stock 240 cluster and I gutted everything, and then I made this little mounting solution for our dash. And I think it came out pretty good. It looks really clean. For the back, not so much, but for the front, it looks pretty clean. And I have this LED down here that was supposed to be my battery light, but LEDs aren't enough resistance to turn the alternator on. So this is where we're at right now. Everything's out. I've been getting all the wires separated, and we're just going to zip tie them together, and then we'll wrap wire harness tape around them so they look clean. We're not going to change a whole lot. We're mainly going to be changing the routing of everything on the dash bar because it is just a mess. Because a lot of the stuff that went in the dash bar was done after the dash was already in, so that was my mistake for not pulling the dash out. From this point back, we're not really going to mess with. From here forward, though, is where we're going to be focusing on. I just want to say, even with this mess wiring, I didn't have any electrical issues with the car. This is just a thing that's been bugging me. So this is where we're going to stop today. We got from here to there, pretty much done. We wrapped everything. Everything has labels to help when we put it back together, but you guys can see we got up to that point there. So this is going to be a multiple day project. We might have 2 more days in this one. Okay, so it's day number 2. We still have this huge mess, but today I want to get the engine harness and this passenger area all sorted, and then we'll see how long that takes, and then we can go to the driver's side. Our wiring specialties harness is kind of a mess because I told them to get me a flying lead harness, and we did that because we don't have the chassis harness because I made my own. So it's an option with them, and I think it was a little bit cheaper this way too if you're wanting to do it for yourself, but they just give you all the wires on this plug and they give you a pinout for it. Most of them I didn't use because they're all for the dash, and we have the AEM CD5, so that's just getting a CAN signal from the ECU. So I'm going to take all the wires we're not using and I'm going to de-pin them and then just get them out of here so it just cleans everything up. But now you can see in the daylight and it looks a lot better with everything wrapped. So the goal is to have everything wrapped in this wire harness tape and make it look good. But we're going to figure it out because we have all the time in the world right now. So we made some progress on there, but I figured out where I want to mount the ECU. We're going to build a bracket off the dash bar that bolts to it here, and then we'll see how sturdy that is. If we need to reinforce it, we will. And then the ECU will be on the underside, so if we ever need to access it, we can without taking the dash off. So here we have some steel, and we have our ECU. It's actually really tiny. I was surprised when I first got it. I was like, oh wow, these things are really small. To give you a better frame of reference, I've only seen ECUs that are like this size, and then when I got this one, I was like, whoa, this is like half. It's so badass. We're going to end up cutting this to bigger than this, and we're going to weld 2 of them next to each other. So we cover the whole ECU. So this is my idea. We're gonna have the ECU like this. It'll actually be on the other side to give you sort of an idea of what's going on. This piece here will be bent because the studs in the dashboard are not perfectly straight down. So we need to have this angled so we can have this be perfectly straight. And then once we bend it, we will then build stuff to go from here to give it these like walls on each side. And that'll stiffen this plate up a lot. So the plan is drill the holes, which I already marked. We're gonna do these top ones. They're in the center. Once we get that, we will tack this second one to here, bend it to see where we need to get it, and then once we get it how we want it, we will fully weld it, and then we will cut out the like, oh, they're almost like gussets. So here's a little bracket for our ECU. I'm letting it cool down because it's extremely hot. So the ECU will be on this side. I changed my mind. I won't have the ECU on the top side because it's gonna unbolt anyways. Accessibility is not an issue. And then I'm thinking have the part of the plug and play harness on this side, so the wire will just loop around to the top side. I'm thinking about doing that rather than cutting these down. Once it cools down, we'll drill a hole to mount the ECU, and then we'll throw it in the car and we'll see how everything fits. So this is day 3, I believe. It might be 4, I'm not too sure, I lost count. I took a couple of these off because I can't really move forward with it until I get the Velcro, which just showed up today. This is some industrial Velcro, so it should be plenty strong for what we need it for. On our ECU little tray, bracket, mounting thing, whatever you want to call it, we're going to have the ECU on the other side, and then on this side, we're going to have the plug and play harness Velcroed to it. It goes from the OEM Nissan plug to the ECUmaster plugs, and then it just has a little patch harness in between the two. We're going to have that sitting here, but because the bolt for the ECU sticks out, it won't be a totally flat surface, so we're going to be welding this piece of metal onto it because they're roughly the same height. The bolt is just a little bit taller, but that's okay. So that's the plan. I'm going to weld this up, and then once we get this how we want it, then we'll paint it. So here we go, rounded the corners too, got this all welded on. So now I'm pretty happy with it, so we're gonna paint it. I think we're just gonna paint it black. I think that's all that I have. I would like to do gray to match the cage, but I don't have that paint anymore, and I don't feel like going anywhere to get more, so we're just gonna use black. So that piece is getting painted. I know you can't really see it. While we're waiting for it to dry, I got the plug and play harness adapter. See, this side is Nissan plug, these are the ECUmaster plugs. Basically, the ECU is gonna sit on top like this, one of the gray on the left and the black on the right. Right underneath it is going to be this Velcroed to the bottom of that piece there. So I just got the Velcro on it, just cut it to length, stuck it on, and now once that is all dry, we can stick the other side onto the bottom of it so we can attach this. I also got some of this like toolbox liner for the ECU because I don't really want the ECU to be like vibrating, moving around a lot. So we're going to put this underneath it and kind of like double it up because this is kind of thin. So the ECU is getting clamped down onto this rather than just straight metal, just so it can absorb a little bit of the vibration from the car. And once this is all done, then we can go put it in the car and we can get all the wiring connections sorted out and make everything look good. Well, here we are. It's all nice and gloss black. Looks really good. Makes my welds actually look decent. So that's cool. So now we're going to put the other side of the Velcro on it. I put the fuzzy side on this one, so we got to put the hook side on this one. So this is our finished little ECU bracket holder thingy with the plug and play harness just Velcro to the bottom. Once we have the harness on and we just have it going up here, just 2 loops there, it's gonna look really good. So now that this is done, we can actually go put it in the car. So I think we're going to stop here for today. We got a lot done. You can see we have the ECU and the plug and play harness mounted there. We also cleaned up a lot of the wiring underneath. There's still a couple more things that we have to do. I'm actually going to have to extend this wire, but that's not a big deal. But that's where we're going to end it tonight. It's getting late, so we will pick this up tomorrow on day like 12 or whatever. On a positive note, I think that side's going to be a lot easier because I don't think we have to mess with anything. We just have to clean it up and wrap. On this side, we had to reconfigure everything because I moved the ECU, which I'm sure is going to be a good thing. Okay, so we've made a lot of progress. I just want to give you guys an update. The only thing we have left to do is the driver's side, get this all sorted, make it look decent, and then we can start putting everything back together. Passenger side we have all done, and as well as the center we have that all done. So you can see our ECU is mounted there, and then underneath we have our plug and play harness. As you guys saw, I just put some Velcro on that. And then we have this guy, which is the Nissan Consult plug. I don't need to use that because I have the standalone, we can just plug directly into the ECU. So we're just gonna tuck this guy up here. And then you can see we have our ECU just chilling right here. Everything's really secure. This is a way better option than where I had it before. I drilled that hole there and we were using that to hold the ECU on. We got everything wrapped. We labeled everything. Everything that unplugs is labeled. So we are all good to go. So now we just gotta tackle that monster. So I got some bad news, unfortunately. We ran out of wire harness tape. That right there is my last roll of wire harness tape and it is gone. So that's unfortunate. There was a couple things that we still needed to get wrapped, but we got pretty much the bulk of it. So I'm happy with that. It's not end of the world that I couldn't get everything covered. It's still significantly better. Other than that, everything is like, I still have the labels and stuff on things, which you want to make sure that you label stuff because you might know what it is when you first install it, but what if 2 or 3 years down the line it stops working and then you go to troubleshoot it and you're like, what the hell are these? So you just make sure you have everything labeled. So we've gotten pretty far with this. We have most of the interior back in. So I just installed that piece right there, and what that is if we unscrew it, it's a USB port. And the cable for that is going over to our ECU. So if we take our computer and we have a male to male USB, and then we plug that in that port down there, and you can see right now it says it's disconnected. But if we turn the power on for the ECU, it's now connected. So that is how we can connect to our ECU, and that's how we can do data logs and check the tune. And for when Chris tunes the car, he can just plug in right there. It doesn't have to go directly to the ECU because we already have a cable going from the ECU to that port. So that's awesome. I put it there because I didn't know where else to put it. Like, there's not a whole lot of options unless I put it like in here, but didn't really want to do that. I like how clean up there is. It's just the dash and the little turn signal LEDs right there. But I would highly recommend that you guys get that if you have a standalone ECU. I will put a link to that port and this male-to-male USB in the description. You can pick it up for yourself. It's also nice to know that the dash and the ECU are communicating. Right now we don't have our wideband plugged in. We've got it just chilling down there, so it's just going to say 14.7. So we got power on. It's reading there 12.4. Let's turn fuel pump, fans, radio, light bars, and last, interior light. But at this point, everything is pretty much done, and we can put the steering wheel back on, and then we should be done. And now our interior is fully complete. I still have to put that seat in, but I'll probably do that later. So that is such a relief. I cannot wait to drive the car again. For now, we're all done. So after a long time, I don't even know, maybe 2 weeks, maybe a little bit more, finally got the wiring done on the 240. I am very, very happy about that because I've just been wanting to get it done for so long, and I've been kind of lazy a little bit, but we did finally get it done, so that's awesome. But that is going to be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like if you did. Comment down below. Let me know what you guys want to see. Hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.